Let's get right into it here. We're going to do top five, each of our top five risers and fallers in fantasy football here. But like, also, this actually was how I wanted to start the show because this question has been on my mind. Like, do you think that like mafia members, like Italian mob members, like say veggies? Like they probably say vegetables. Yeah. Like they probably don't say veggies. They're like, pass me the veggies.
No, I feel like they're like know every type of vegetable, so they'll like call them out specifically.
That's probably so fucking true.
Like dude. Some romaine.
Pass me the broccoli rob. Pass me the broccoli.
They know exactly what they're asking for, so I feel like that's more what it is. Like like you hear like gabagool and like you put the pastrami and like I'm just thinking Sopranos.
It's not veggies, but yes.
No, I know it's not veggies, but I'm just saying in general, like when you hear them talk about food. It's very much specifics.
Maybe Italian mob members don't eat many veggies, just meats.
Shout out to the 76ers. That's how I want to start this off, me personally.
All right. Top five risers and fallers. Okay, so I guess I'll just start. We're going to start with we'll both do our risers. This is kind of in order from 5 to 1 for me, but it doesn't have to be. All right. None other than the great Sam Howell. I mean, come on, chopping it up against the Eagles defenses. And yeah, I'm a Sam Howell owner. Sam Howell to the moon. This guy's got something. He can throw the ball. If
Sam Howell played the Eagles for 16 weeks, he'd be the next Tom Brady.
For some reason, it's just against the Eagles.
But no, with Sam Howell, to me, I don't look at him as a riser because I feel like he's right where I guess I expect him to be going into the year.
Bro, he's QB8. He's QB8.
Okay. QB8. I'm saying as far as like still like value goes, like I still look. Coming into the year, I thought he was a very hopeful QB coming into it. I thought he was for sure the starter for the year, and that was their guy. People were high on him. I was looking at him as like QB 15 to 20 range. Obviously 8. I don't know if he's going to sustain that throughout the year.
Maybe not.
But I think value wise, he's kind of
his value has increased.
He dipped. Yeah, it was like he was high, dipped a little bit, came back up, and now he is starting to. Yeah, I see it. I buy you.
He's young. He's young, and he's got growing pains, no doubt about it. And he'll look bad in some games throughout the season, some more. But his value has absolutely gone up. His value has absolutely gone up. No one expected this from him. Not this.
Do you want to run through your 5 and then I'll do my 5 after? You can just go through your 5 first.
All right. Number 4 on the list. I've got D-Hop, DeAndre Hopkins. Maybe he's got a quarterback now. They didn't sell anything at the deadline, and he got Will Levis to throw the ball to him a bunch of times. And Will Levis looks kind of good out there. Early again, he'll have growing pains. He'll have games where he looks bad, whatever. But
the players look like they bought in too. I think it was Simons, who the safety. He was like when he was throwing, he was like, I'm telling you, that's that Will Levis boy out there. I feel like they've officially bought into him. And Ryan Tannehill, wasn't Ryan Tannehill the one to start the year where he's like, it's not my job to mentor quarterbacks coming in or something like that.
Yeah.
And now he's like all like he was so hyped to see Will Levis ball out.
That's good.
I think it's almost. I do think Tannehill will play again, but I think it's like you're starting to see the passing of the torch a little bit. I mean, if he goes out and throws 3 touchdowns again, then yeah, you can't go back.
I could see the team saying that Ryan Tannehill is injured for a little bit longer. And if Will Levis continues to hype it up. Yeah.
1 second, my cats are fighting.
All right,
you can cut that out.
Next up, we got Gus Edwards. All right, he shouldn't be in that order. Maybe
3 touchdown Gus Edwards.
That's the Gus Edwards I'm talking about. Also, they did not get Derrick Henry or any other running back, which is also why he's a riser right now. He's a starting running back the rest of the way.
Yeah, it's like one of those where it's like it's obvious riser because at the beginning of the year he had no value at all, really, and now.
Not much. But this is what always happens because the Ravens always have injured running backs, and Gus Edwards always comes in and balls out, but every other time he's just not that good. So
he's taking advantage of his situation for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
That was your 3?
Yeah. Well, it would be my 3 either way. Yeah, and my 2, technically, I'm going in reverse, like 5 to 1. But my 2 would be none other than Travis Etienne. Because this is like a long term. I mean, maybe this is what we thought he was, but like no one ever really thinks they're going to reach a height where you got RB2 on the season.
People were scared of Tank Bigsby taking a lot of value from him. He was a big question mark coming into the year for sure. I think ETN's a great pick there, and he's not even on my list, but I love that pick.
Yeah, I mean, for me, RB2 did not expect that. Receiving touchdowns. Yeah, he's fucking catching the ball.
Last week that was like a 48-yarder.
Yeah.
In the air.
Oh yeah, he literally lined up as a wide receiver.
Yeah, and he just beat the dude on like a go route.
Yeah, 100%. And finally, my final riser here. Again, this was kind of you gotta feel it out.
So this is your top riser right here.
I guess. Yeah, we'll say it is. Well, I'm cool with this. It's Alvin Kamara.
Interesting.
Actually, in PPR right now, he's RB6. He's 14 in standard. And that's after he missed the first 3 games. So I don't know what he is in average, but yeah, I expect Kamara to be top 3-4 running back the rest of the way. It's
what
Christian
scares
McCaffrey, ETN, and Alvin Kamara, honestly.
To be honest, so it's interesting. In my fallers, I don't have him specifically, but you'll see what I mean when we talk about it.
Okay.
But this week was his lowest usage rate on the ground, and just he's someone who at the end of your career, when you start to see that usage rate go down, it's something to be scared of when you have other running backs on the team. To be clear though, I'm not huge on Jamal Williams and Kendre Miller for the season either. But he's someone who he's been playing way better than I thought he was going to.
It was his lowest snap percentage.
But I do think that could start trending down, and that might be an outlier. I hope I'm wrong there though.
It was his worst efficiency and it was his worst snap percentage, but still he scored a touchdown and got 17 attempts and 51 yards through the air. Touchdown, 2 touchdowns. I don't know. I
had Saints running backs just as a whole as fallers. More specifically, Jamal Williams and Kendre Miller. Kendre Miller had a ton of hype and just hasn't taken advantage of any situation. Still on him for Dynasty for the long haul though. And Jamal Williams, I thought he was going to be a RB3, maybe even RB2. Last year he was an RB1. I didn't expect that, but he's been irrelevant. He's been hurt.
Exactly. But that's why like everyone thought that those 2 guys, when Alvin Kamara came back, maybe he'll still be the guy, but he's getting old. You know, like I don't know if I didn't think he was going to be this good. I did not expect it.
No, I started to think he was a little washed.
Yeah, exactly.
But before I talk about more of my followers, let me get into my risers. I'll be honest, I don't have them in order here, so
that's fine.
Is what it is. Kareem Hunt, number 1. He's been a legitimate starting running back. I have ETN on a bye, so I'm starting him as in a running back spot. But he started for my team, and I have 2 losses right now. And he's been the last 3 weeks has put up double-digit fantasy points from being someone who was almost could have been put on waivers in a lot of leagues.
Oh, absolutely.
Is now someone who is a very relevant fantasy player with significant value for the short term.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, Jerome Ford was injured for a little bit, but he's been really taking over. I mean, he's only
had touchdowns.
Yeah, that's honestly what it is. I mean, he's getting good amount of attempts. It's pretty split. Jerome Ford did not play the last 2 weeks, I don't think. But he is only getting 35% of the snaps last week. But yeah, no, I mean, the points are there. 100% he's getting the touchdowns. I hope that Jerome Ford, I had to take that Jerome Ford was going to be top 15 the rest of the way. So I want to see him. Oh, and he did play last week also.
Yeah, he's one. Jerome Ford, he's someone who I thought would kind of be the workhorse back there, but I do think it's more 50-50.
Yeah.
Realistically. Next one I have is Chuba Hubbard. He's won that job over. Miles Sanders is in a tough situation there where Chuba Hubbard has been the guy who's kind of been in the shadows for the last few years. I think we talked about him last episode, which feels like way back when. But Chuba Hubbard's a guy who I think I'd rather have Chuba Hubbard than Miles Sanders in Dynasty redraft anything at this point. He's a guy who, especially with all the injuries now at this point in the season, he's a starting running back for most teams around here.
Yep. Yeah, I feel that. I agree. You were right. Chuba Hubbard did kind of take over.
And so I'll just go on to the next one. It's going to be a tight end. I was shocked to put a tight end in here. And it's a
We
rookie
do
tight
not
end.
praise tight ends on this podcast very much.
We don't. And this is a rookie tight end, and it's not Dalton Kincaid, who everyone thought it's going to be. It's
Dude,
Sam
100%.
Laporta.
100%.
Sam Laporta. He is. Like it's still Travis Kelce as tight end one.
Not in Dynasty.
In Dynasty, Sam Laporta is tight end one. Maybe you can argue tight end two, but he's top two tight end, and it's hard to make an argument otherwise.
Yeah,
he is legit. They're using him. He's getting what everyone thought Dalton Kincaid was going to be.
Yeah. Kyle Pitts. I never, well, not never, but over the past year, I did not have Kyle Pitts at tight end one. People finally came around to not putting him at tight end one just because of how good Sam Laporta has been.
Now, Taylor Heineke is going to make him tight end like 5. Watch. He's going to become relevant now.
Yeah, probably.
Next one here. This one's kind of an under the radar one. I'm still not very high on him, but he's someone who I think is starting to command the backfield, and it's Javonte Williams.
Okay, yeah.
He's starting to look like the guy he was before the injury. His usage rate opposite of Kamara is going up each week, and last week was his highest of the season. And he's putting up consistent fantasy points. So I think he's someone who had a lot of question marks coming into this year, but you can feel pretty confident having him on your dynasty squad.
Yeah, agreed. As he got back from that injury.
And finally, someone who I traded away, who it hurts deep down to my core, another rookie, Josh Downs. Dude can ball. He is.
That's true.
Probably, like, you have Jordan Addison, but I'm trying to think. He could be the best rookie wide receiver fantasy wise for the season. I mean, Flowers started off the year, but Downs, he's putting up consistent numbers. The Colts in general are putting up numbers, which is surprising with Anthony Richardson out and Gardner Minshew in there still throwing it. But Josh Downs is someone who I think he was going in like the third round, late second, third round. And he's probably, if you did a redraft right now, would be going in the first.
Yeah, 100%. Is that was your last one?
Yeah, that's my last one for the Risers.
Because right now the top rookie wide receiver in fantasy is Puka Nacua, and he's been the best rookie.
Puka's the guy.
He's been obviously, but he's one of my fallers.
Oh yeah, he is.
He's one of my fallers. He's actually my number 5 faller here because he just can't keep up what he has been doing. Number 1. Cooper Kupp has come back, and yes, they're both going to get theirs, but Cooper Kupp has been eating into that, and he will.
Matt Stafford has been getting more attention, especially touchdown wise.
Tutu Atwell's been pretty good, just behind, like right there besides him too, honestly. And Matthew Stafford, now he's injured again. He's still very old. Still don't trust into that. And also, that offense just isn't going to be what they have been. It's just not going to look that good all season long.
So we were saying before the year that they are not a good team, and they started the year hot.
They surprised me.
I don't think they're as good as they were at the start of the year.
Yeah, and I mean you saw with Puka Nacua, not his worst week, but one of his worst weeks. His worst week was 2 weeks ago, fantasy wise.
Not a good trend.
7 targets. Yeah, his targets are going down over the last 3 games. So 7 targets, not the trend you're looking for out of a good Puka Nacua. All right, so that's my number 5 there. Number 4, I got Tajay Spears. Tajay Spears had his lowest snap percentage last week, and everyone wanted to ride the Tajay Spears hype train with all those Derrick Henry rumors going around. And unfortunately, Derrick Henry is still there, and they're still trying to compete for some reason, and they're ready to be mediocre for the rest of eternity. Go Titans.
Yeah, I feel like it's an interesting one. Short term, his value dropped overnight, basically. And for the long term, though, I still think he's a great running back for Dynasty.
That is more of a redraft one, I suppose. But like, you were ready to buy into Tajay right now. Some people may have bought him for too much at this very moment. Who knows? Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, the talent is still there, and Derrick Henry is going to be on the outs fairly soon. All right. Number 3, Jameson Williams. RIP. Yeah, to be honest with you, never really liked the trajectory of his career anyways. But the guy has butter fingers. My guy cannot catch a ball.
He's also
And
deep ball or bust in general. Like if he doesn't catch a 60-yard touchdown, he's not getting the receptions or the targets to be able to be fantasy relevant right now, which
yeah.
is sad. He had so much potential.
And what is this? Like, you
I'm
know where
still
my
not out
head's
on him
at.
though. I'm not out on him.
Okay. I never was really that in on him, to be honest with you, to begin with. But you know where my head's at. This is a great thing to do after the trade deadline because so much like can change in like an instant when it's not like, yeah, it's not real. Like you're saying, some of the long-term values are still exactly how they were, maybe, but like the values can change. What's this? They traded for DP, my good old friend DPJ, Donovan Peoples Jones.
What did who?
The
Someone did
Lions.
that right
Yeah.
now? They just did that. Oh,
But during the
during the
trade,
trade
yeah,
deadline.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yep.
Yeah, that doesn't help the situation.
Yep. I
That
mean,
that breaking news. I didn't see that. That one slipped by me.
yep. So DPJ is on the Lions now. Going to have good old Jared Goff going to be thrown to him. Probably better than his situation has been. Okay, so Chris, my number two. See, like it's all very different. Like you could have a guy who's a rookie, who's I'm putting on my fall list, and you can have a guy who we all thought was a superstar, and he's on my fall same exact list. But my number two is Chris Olave. Uh, that offense has looked bad. The connection has not been there. He's getting arrested out here. My guy is getting
Yeah.
arrested out here.
When you start dropping lines like, "Oh, I play for the Saints," I'm out.
He
Like
was
that's like
definitely he was
Ozuna.
like, I'm really getting arrested. I play for the Saints. Um, yeah, and he's frustrated on the sideline too, to be honest with you, because I don't know. Should he be getting more target share? I don't know. Honestly, Derek Carr is pretty ass.
He was up there in the conversation with like maybe not Justin Jefferson, but he was up there to go into this year as far as value goes, and like you couldn't touch him in
And he
dynasty
started
leagues.
off pretty good. Started off pretty promising. Now he's wide receiver 30 in standard 26. Like I had him as like close to I had him as a top 15 dynasty wide receiver.
Oh, for sure. Michael Thomas, I feel like, has been way better than at least I
That's
expected him to
that's a
be, and
surprise.
that's what I feel like is really hurting Olave at this moment. Where like I thought Michael Thomas would be
Dude,
irrelevant, dying
I thought
down,
he
but
was dead.
he's legitimate. It's like Thielen, just like he keeps
Yeah,
on
I
putting
was
up
surprised by
numbers.
that too. Very surprised by Thielen. This is probably his best year of his career. Um, is that true? I don't
No,
even know.
he's had some years in Minnesota for sure.
I mean, I know. Yeah, I knew he was good in Minnesota, but I don't know.
There is some like when they first started off with Diggs over there, you could debate Diggs or Thielen for their wide receiver
Yeah,
one.
Diggs was a young buck back then.
Yeah.
Um, it is. Yeah, he had some good years, probably as good. Yeah.
Touchdowns, but he always puts up touchdowns. I remember when we were on the final round, that was one of my picks for before the year was it was like over 5.5 touchdowns. What's he at right now?
mm, he has 4 receiving touchdowns. Oh, wait,
There you
that's
go.
yeah, 4 receiving touchdowns.
Just needs 2 more. He gets that over.
All right, my top faller is a lot of people used to rank as the best wide receiver in the league. That's Devontae Adams.
He's on my fall list.
Yeah, poor old Devontae Adams.
I
They're
don't know if
going with the
Aiden
rookie
O'Connell. I don't
QB.
know if Aiden O'Connell is gonna be doing it for him, but yeah,
Neither
I
was
mean,
Jimmy G.
Jimmy
So
G was god awful, but Devontae Adams he's starting to like I take Keenan Allen over Devontae Adams right now.
they're gonna have some random games where they look good now, just because that's what happens when you fire your coach. Then all of
Yeah.
a sudden,
They
like,
rally around that for a
yeah.
few games.
But like, yeah, I mean, Devontae Adams, man, obviously he's closer to the end of his career than he is to the beginning of his career, and not a good situation he's in. And I don't know how it can get better. Do they trade him this offseason? Like, I don't know what his contract situation
He'll
is,
ask
but
out, I feel like.
I'm pretty sure he already did, and they didn't even trade him at the deadline too. So, yeah, tough go for him.
Yeah, he's on my list as well. Actually, yeah, he is on my list. Was that all yours?
Yeah, that's mine. He
All right.
is a Raider through 2020. There's a potential out after 24, after next year.
Yeah, he's gonna be out. There's no way. unless Aiden O'Connell comes in and just balls out, but there's no shot because their defense. I mean, their defense isn't great, but I feel like they're obviously their D line is legit with Crosby.
Yeah, their D line is good. Yeah,
Crosby's nasty, but
I love watching him. They're always on like 1 or 2 primetime games every year, and I love watching him.
All right, I'll hop into mine now. So I got 4 left. One was that one guy who I had as been one of my most underrated players, and it's George Pickens. I mean, I guess he didn't really fall too much, but it kind of just like cemented me as like he's not the guy.
What did I say before the season started?
He's Darnell Mooney 2.0 at this point.
What did I say? Person. Darnell Mooney 2.0. You said he was the most exactly. You said he was one of the most underrated, and I said he was one of the most overrated.
Yeah, you were right on that one. That's what I'm saying. He had the opportunity. It fell into his hands. He started off the year looking nice too. But I feel like he just doesn't have it in him, which sad to see, but I hope he turns it around. But he's someone I'd be trying to sell while he's still putting up serviceable numbers. Next one kind of falls into the Chuba Hubbard one is Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders' value is rapidly decreasing. Obviously, he's at a relatively good career, but he's starting to get into that range where in fantasy, he's just going to be passed around in deals as just like that guy to get the deal done. But even that person probably ends up trading them within a couple months anyway.
Damn, RIP Miles Sanders, dude. I liked him on the Eagles.
That's crazy. You imagine he signed, what was it, like a $20 million, $15 million deal in Carolina, and now he's not even the starter.
They were kind of hype about him. They had all those videos with him talking to Frank Reich wait, who's their head coach?
Is it Frank Reich? I think it is.
Yeah.
I should be way off on that. I don't even know, to be honest. I don't pay attention to the Panthers coach.
Yeah, it is. It is because he was the Colts. Yeah, okay. He won us a Super Bowl.
He did.
I guess he's not a good head coach. Maybe he is. I don't know.
Next one, I got another guy who kind of, I feel like I'm following a trend here of just guys who
the opposite of your
well, no, like actually this guy who was someone who I was not, he was probably overrated. I think he might have been on my overrated list. But similar to trajectory to Pickens is Christian Watson, but I guess Pickens was never good. So, but Christian Watson, I feel like he's someone else.
That's a good one. I like
lost
that
a lot
one.
Of value.
I traded his ass. You kind of, I guess maybe you even partially convinced me to trade him.
Yeah, Dobbs and righ. Like Righ's another rookie wide receiver who's been impressive. He hasn't been amazing, but he's shown that he can very much in the next couple of years be one of the guys there. Dobbs seems like the clear one there. But even that, like I mean, Jordan Love doesn't look good. No. He started off the year hot, but he's still
Jordan Love is still going to start all next season, or at least most of it. Because
Christian Watson,
he's in a way, but
he's a bench/flex filler type of like
dropped balls for him too, which
that was always his problem. He did that last year too, though. That's why he started so weak. He had a couple of deep touchdowns that he dropped. It was like 60-yard bombs that he just went right through his hands.
Yeah.
Then he started catching them at the end.
And he's got a hamstring issue, so
no, and those linger. Like that's one of the ones that you can't shake.
Yeah.
Then I said Devontae Adams, and I guess I covered all of them now because the other one was the Saints backfield in general was one that I wanted to stay away from. So yeah, that wraps mine up too. But to be honest, I feel like the positive here is that there's a lot more risers. I feel like the risers are more significant. The fallers are more people who like were big question marks who you kind of were like, I don't know, maybe, and then they just don't fall through. But the risers are like, well, I didn't see this one coming. Like these guys came out.
It was hard for me to pick the fallers, honestly. It was harder for me to pick the fallers.
Have you ever gone back to ESPN and like looked at fantasy on there? It's so bad compared.
It's so bad. I'm playing in an ESPN league right now in my work. It's so fucking bad.
Sleeper's just dominant. And if you look on the app, you'll see that it has like new like stats. It tells you like how accurate you are with your starts and sits. It's kind of crazy.
Oh, really? I didn't even know that. Where's that at?
Like if you just go to your matchups, it's like now just like I think it was like updated the other day. And if you just like look under it, it has like 72%, 86%. The funny thing is Clayton is like the most accurate.
But it also 78% accurate. Gentry's 8. But here's the thing. Me being 78% accurate is kind of more impressive than Gentry being 80% accurate because he's got obvious starters. My team's ass. I gotta fucking pick and choose.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Like with Clayton, like he's 96%, but like he has most of his bench aren't even active players at the moment. They're on like practice squads.
Yeah. 90% accurate. Damn. Okay, I respect it. What's Gallo?
He's trying to
89.
pawn off all of his quarterbacks on me now.
He was trying to get Baker Mayfield from me. I said
Yeah.
you're gonna have to outbid Tyler again. Good luck.
Once I offered Nico, I was like, "Oh, you're doing. There's no way
was like,
someone's offering more than Nico."
and I told him too. He's like, I'm not offering more than Nico. I'm like, all
Yeah.
right, then I better go accept this trade.
Yeah, that was it's funny because I didn't get an alert that you accepted it. I just got an alert that a trade went through, and I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh
that
shit."
always.
I was like, "Please don't tell me that you traded Baker to someone else." And I pulled it up. I'm like, "Oh shit,
Oh.
that's our trade."
I was trying to get Sam involved, but you were the most interested.
I need
Gallows
to,
always.
if I'm gonna win if I'm gonna win a championship, I need 2 QBs.
Oh yeah, you're in very much win now mode. I'm a little concerned for your team moving forward, but like right now, your team looks great.
If I win the chip this year, I'm just selling everyone and I'll rebuild after that. I'll be content. I'll be the first 2 champion person. I'm just chilling. All right, let's get this content like in there. You could actually probably throw that in there somewhere.
Yeah,
too.
so a lot of this can go in there, but so we'll let the people know. Traded Baker Mayfield today for Nico Collins in a third. I got Nico Collins in a third, or no, I traded Baker in a third for Nico Collins. That's what it was.
For context, like we're saying, I'm very win now. My quarterbacks to start the year was Dak Prescott and Aaron Rodgers. We know how that went.
It's been a tough year for quarterbacks out here.
Trade for Kirk Cousins. We know how that went. Then yesterday, before the Jimmy Garoppolo news came down, I traded for him as my emergency QB because my other one's Ryan Tannehill, benched. So then today, I very much believe I overpaid for Baker Mayfield. But if I'm going to win a championship in Superflex, I need those 2 QBs. I feel like this year, the position is quarterbacks. That's just been the one that's been so.
Dude, yeah, you can
erratic.
name Kirk Cousins is a faller. Like, who else is out?
Like
right
what?
now?
Like
Jimmy
how about
G
this
is a
one?
faller.
Where do you put like Josh Dobbs right now in Dynasty?
I mean, dude, like
for like let's say redraft for this season, where do you have Dobbs?
Still pretty low, 20.
I mean, 20 is great, but
I know.
They're not starting him right now in Minnesota. They said they're still
They're
going
not?
with the Rook. Yeah, they're going with
well, what was the point of trading for him? Jeez.
That's like I'm sure he's gonna start, but like it's an interesting one where like he's been a legitimate quarterback for Arizona, like as far as fantasy goes.
Not the last few weeks.
And they haven't been bad, I don't think.
Joshua Dobbs. Actually, yeah, he put up numbers last week.
As far as fantasy goes, I mean, like obviously they have 1 win, but he put up in Superflex.
He's currently like, QB 12. So
I like obviously it's our first year in Superflex, so I'm not going to speak in absolutes, but we were right in to say that like if you don't have 2 quarterbacks, it's almost, unless you have just studs down the board, it's so hard to compete.
That's why I didn't really want to trade Baker just yet, but yeah.
And with all those injuries, like there's so many injuries where like these quarterbacks that were sitting on waivers to start this year for our first year in Superflex are all players that should have been like, you almost need like QB3s on like third on the depth chart quarterbacks who they could get a shot and or at least be 2. So like Malik Cunningham, he's someone I'm holding on to. I don't want to drop him right now. He's on the practice squad, but like,
bro, I had like 8 or 9 QBs on my squad at one point. Bro.
I mean, you had Dobbs, you had
I did have Dobbs at one point
because
I had Dobbs, I have Kyler Murray, and I have Clayton Tune. I had their whole room.
So you had a lot of quarterbacks that were something at some point, and then like I picked up I picked up Dobbs when you dropped him before he really did anything, and I picked up PJ Walker and traded him for pennies when I wish I still had it. Well, I guess he's not starting this week, probably most likely, but
yeah,
he started a couple weeks.
PJ Walker, go Temple Howls.
Gardner Minshew,
Jared Stidham, Bailey Zappi's the only one that didn't come through for me.
Watch,
and Jared Stidham
start a game.
Jared Stidham.
Like Drew Lock, he's someone who, like Drew Lock is someone who I thought was out of the league. He should be on every dynasty Superflex. Bench.
Dude, right now he should, because hey, Geno is a stock down for me. Geno is a faller for me.
I feel like that one was so easy to see coming into this year as just like someone who had an outlier of a year who there's no way he can, like, it's not like he was a young guy who you didn't know what he had. Like you knew what he had. You just like performed.
It always surprised me when a guy like Ryan Tannehill or Geno Smith goes here. And Ryan Tannehill, he had a successful second half of his career. Like it surprised me when a guy randomly does that.
Yeah, I feel like Baker's kind of taking it like a step early, and I'm hoping he can keep starting for years to come. He's
Yeah, I
been
think
solid.
he's a maybe a journeyman, but he's probably going to be a starting quarterback.
He could be in Oakland next year. Watch.
Dude, you're making me think I shouldn't have traded him. Having
Dude,
a
you got
good
Nico
QB3 is
Collins.
important, dude. Having a good QB3 is important, but I guess
You
I'll
have the
figure it
draft
out.
picks. You get a legit young wide receiver in Nico Collins.
I got
There's
Kyler
no
coming
reason
back.
you should.
I got Kyler coming back. Kyler to the fucking rescue. I've been waiting for this moment. I've been waiting for this moment.
I'm
man.
hoping he comes back. I'm still holding on to Rondale Moore for hope that he just built a connection with Kyler Murray.
Yeah, they're still not freaking starting him this week. So I don't know.
I know.
What
Is
the
he
hell
still
they're
on the
doing.
pup list?
No, he is. He's off. He's not. No injury. He's not on the injury
He's
list at
just
all.
chilling.
No injury designation. He's just chilling. He's just resting. It's
All
like
right,
it's like Deshaun Watson. They're like, yeah, Deshaun Watson's gonna rest another week. I'm like, we're doing load management out here in the NFL.
yeah, but instead they screw fantasy managers, send him out there for a drive, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm not feeling it," and then they just take him out, and he gets like 0.3 points.
So dumb. So dumb.
But Eagles Cowboys prediction: Dallas week out here.
Oof. 32-27 birds.
I'm gonna go.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that one.
You said what was it?
32-27.
I'm gonna say 28-13 birds.
Okay.
And this is my hot take. You're gonna see a Darius Slay and James Bradbury masterclass this weekend. I'm not saying to bench CeeDee Lamb. I'm not even saying to bench Brandon Cooks, but I'm telling you, when you see a Darius Slay and James Bradbury masterclass out there, Byard comes in and he has a week under his belt. He's in the team. Watch this secondary look real different out there. Watch what happens when Dak Prescott gets under these bright lights and starts seeing ghosts out there and starts throwing picks. I bet you, I'm going out there. I'm going to say Slay and Bradbury will both have a pick this weekend.
Damn. I could absolutely see that happening with Dak Prescott, though.
I have Dak Prescott on my team. I have Brandon Cooks on my team. I'm starting both of them this week, just honestly for a lack of better option. But with that being said, I hope they score 2 points.
Right
now. I hope they score 2 points, and I have a feeling they are going to score like between. I think Dak Prescott, realistically, he could put up a 10-point week. I think CeeDee Lamb. I always think there's a time like
that offense has started to look a little better.
You can have
I'm just gonna say it.
You can have a great game as a secondary, but give up like 1 80-yard touchdown, which I wouldn't be surprised if CD gets. CD is a great wide receiver, but Dallas, they've either
won last week.
Dallas either looks like they're a top 3 team in the league or a bottom 3 team in the league. There's no in between, and I just feel like the Eagles, they're taking this week different. Like no one's making comments. It really looks like they're like, I don't know,
because this is not going to be an easy. This is not going to be an easy game.
It's not, but
I think people just think
it's going to be a party.
Dallas hasn't been shit in years. We've been to the Super Bowl, whatever. But like, this is not. It's still a rivalry matchup. It's not going to be an easy game.
It's not going to be easy. Dallas is going to be good, but I'm telling you, by the end of the game, the score is going to make it look like it was easy. It's going to be on what I say. 20-27.
Yeah, that feels like we take a lead and just run the ball. That's what that score feels like.
I feel like this is gonna be that coming out party where it's just gonna be like after this week, everyone's gonna be like, "There's
the defense needs to step up for sure. We need a sack."
But with that being said, people are talking about how can you win a Super Bowl without a good defense? You know, we let Tom Brady throw for like 500 yards on us in the Super Bowl,
and the defense was amazing that year. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they were amazing that year, but like I don't think they got to stop the whole game.
Yeah, they were until it mattered at the very end. Yeah.
I guess Brandon Graham came. That's all that matters. If your defense can force 1 turnover, force 1 mistake, you can win a lot of ball games. If your offense looks like the Philadelphia Eagles offense looks.
Yeah. So
that's our Philadelphia propaganda for the week.
Buy into it, and guess what? Tony Pollard. Faller, baby.
Not top 10, baby.
Not top 10, baby.
We've been saying it.
All right, Death by Dynasty out.